Boom, bam, bam, and we are live. Manchester United talk and news and everything related on the United Hour with me, President Chad. And in the house with me today, we have Devin and the man, Dr. Phil. New season, gentlemen. And that's what we're here to talk about today. How do we feel about Manchester United's new season and our expectations? Now, before we jump into it, I want to ask you all support the channel, like, subscribe, do the necessaries, right? Um, I want to add a caveat. We know we're still in the pre-season. We also know that the transfer window is still open. So these are the assumptions. Cunha's done. Brian Mbumo done. We have left wing back, left back. That a lot of people say is one for the future. He says he thinks he could break into the first team. So we're going to be seeing. But we're working with a couple of assumptions. No Rashford, no Sancho, no Garnacho. Right? No Malacia. A new forward. Not the cream of the crop. Cream of the crop. No Osimhen, no Gronk, and not the base. Right? No Calvert-Lewin. So let's just say, for argument's sake, we get like a Watkins, right? So we saying we get a Watkins, a solid striker, and we get, based on all the news, all the talk, and we're going to be talking in the week about that kind of stuff. But based on all the talk, it sounds like Manchester United may very well be getting a goalkeeper, right? But we don't know if it's a starting goalkeeper or a backup. So let's say, for argument's sake, it's a backup goalkeeper. So we started with Onana. Well, we know he's going to be injured for the first few games, but we're going forward with Onana. What is the next base assumption? Our next base assumption is we get in a striker and we get in a midfield, right? So we get in at least two more signings, well, three if you include a goalkeeper, and that is going to be our window. 5 signings. So everything we're saying going forward is based on those assumptions. The 5 players we want out, they are no longer at the club. We're going to have 5 solid signings going into the new season. So that being said, that is the assumptions we're working with. Before we get into the topic, it's been a little while. How are you, Big Phil?
Everything good, man. It's been a hot summer. But it's been one of those summers that's been a bit frustrating from a United perspective, but from a footballing perspective, watching Club World Cup and what's not, it's been good, man. But from a United perspective, it's been frustrating. From a personal perspective, life is good, man. No stress, no complaints. What's not here again to talk about the sport that frustrates us all. So yeah, man, everything good, man.
For sure. Devin, talk to me. How has your summer been?
Yeah, I can't complain. Just working hard. It was nice to just get a break from Manchester United football for a little bit, because I know last season was very draining, very mentally draining, and so just to get a nice break here, just focusing on my outside hobbies outside of Manchester United. So for those who don't know, I'm a big cybersecurity guy. So it was nice to be studying up on that, just focusing, trying to further my career with that. And now it's gearing up for the next season, and looking forward to it.
All right, nice. So we have Courtney in the chat early, and all of those watching, welcome. So
we gotta ask how you're doing as well too.
Yeah. So say that again.
I said we gotta ask how you are as well too.
Oh well, tired, boy, tired. We just have a lot going on in Trinidad and Tobago at the moment. So I'm tired. But other than that, I'm good. Tired but good. So let's jump straight into it. Based on the assumptions that we started off with, where you think Manchester United are going to finish this season?
Hmm. I'll start this with a caveat. I think we can do this now, and then we also can do this at the end of the transfer window as well too. But based on a perfect scenario with all that stuff, I would have to say at a minimum right now, I think it would have eighth place. Eighth place being very realistic. And hopefully a cup win in there somewhere along the lines. Just because we're getting stronger right now does not mean that all the other clubs as well are just standing by and doing nothing. You see Liverpool basically got half a first team this summer. Arsenal is strengthening as well too. So you're looking at those positions. Manchester City did the same thing as well too. There's your top three right there. Newcastle is obviously going to strengthen as well too. You could see Crystal Palace also looking at somebody who could sign players because they're playing in Europe as well too. And when you're going off of all this, and it's going to be the first season with a lot of these people coming, to ask for top four after the abysmal season we had last year, I do not believe that is realistic. So I will stick by my eighth place prediction.
All right. People in the comments, we want you all to weigh in. Where do you expect Manchester United to finish? Devin says he doesn't expect us to make top four. Big Phil, talk to me. Where do you expect Manchester United to finish this season? Assuming that we have 5 solid transfers done and all of the 5 players we want out of the club are out of the door. Where you expect us to finish?
Oh boy, that's a very good question. And as Devin mentioned, we'll have to revisit this question at the end of the transfer window. I want to see Courtney comment. Take off his comment. He's a distraction. he's one of the biggest hypocrites. But anyway, I would say that if we have a different goalkeeper starting for Manchester United at the beginning of the season, and it's not Andre Onana, I think we can make a push for possibly a Europa League place. That's wishful thinking. I think that's the highest we can get. I think the lowest we can get is probably 10th place. But if we had to consider overachieving like what Ten Hag did in this first season, then definitely a Europa League place for sure. But I will settle for 10th place based on the current squad we have right now. But should we get in your Ollie Watkins, should we get in this goalkeeper, Sen Lamans, or I'm not a big fan of the next guy I'm about to call, but he's an upgrade to Onana, Emi Martinez. I still think we need to get a midfield as well. So if we do get, let's say, for example, Emi Martinez, Ollie Watkins, and two good holding midfielders, I think we could definitely push for that Europa League place, right? But we must take into consideration when we're going to get them. Are we going to get them during preseason that they can at least get in 1 or 2 fixtures, or are we going to get them close to the end of the transfer window, right? So I think, as I mentioned, a Europa League place if we do get our main transfers, but the lowest I would go is 10th position.
All right, cool. Well, we are being joined by the man himself, Robert Wallace. Robert, welcome. You're a little late, but you're inside.
Yes. How are you doing?
So the question on the table is this. Assuming that Manchester United, we have Cunha inside, we have Mbumo inside, we have a fairly fresh left wing back inside. Assuming we get a decent striker, let's say along the lines of Ollie Watkins, assuming we get a new goalkeeper, assuming we get another midfielder, right? So the assumptions are based that we're going to have a 5-man transfer window season, assuming all of the deadwood, or I shouldn't say deadwood, But the players we don't want here are no longer
correct.
going to be here. No Rashford, no Sancho, no Malacia, no Hoyland. Hoyland, yeah, no Hoyland. Assuming these guys are out the door, where do you expect Manchester United to finish this season?
I still well, my hope would be that we would finish top 10. I am not seeing us finishing top 4. I don't know if we have 5 spots in the Champions League again this year or not. I can't remember. Well, actually no. Well, I'm not sure if we do.
Then
But
overall, how much stick up in Rob? How much European places, if we include Champions League, Europa, Conference League, I think we have like what, 8 to 9,
It's 6, 7, I think, right now.
including Conference League.
But I think it's 7 guaranteed right now. However, depending on whether teams win certain cups and everything like that, that's where it gets tricky. But I think it's
All right.
5. I think it's 5 guaranteed for Champions League, 1 for Europa,
Right.
and 1 for Conference League, at a minimum.
Oh, they took away one of our Europa League spots. That's why 7 and not 8. I thought we were
It
getting.
usually gets confusing because whoever wins the FA Cup qualifies for Europa League, but typically it's usually a team that finishes in top 4. So that's where it gets a little bit tricky with all that. So
All right, so we're gonna take Courtney's word for it, because I know that's what I thought. That is 8 places.
mhm.
All right, we're gonna take his word for it that
I'll
he's not
research
leading us.
right now.
He's not leading us astray. Right, so we have 8 places.
Since Curtis said that, I got research on myself. I give me I got research on myself. I got ChatGPT.
So, does everybody believe that we have a good chance of getting some European football next season?
No, top 10. No Europe.
Robert,
Because, I mean,
top 10. Phil,
top 10.
top 10, not guaranteed Europe. Devin, what say you?
I said 8th already, so
Yeah.
I gotta depending on what happens with these with the how the season plays out, that could be Conference League. You never know.
Because
We're
remember,
looking
it's
at
not
Conference
just
League at best.
because remember, it's not just about us buying and selling enough. It's the other teams as well. Because I can't see us beating Liverpool, City,
I think so.
Arsenal, Chelsea.
All right, let's go.
I
Liverpool finishing above us.
Yes.
City,
Yes,
Chelsea,
yes.
Arsenal, that's 4.
Yes, 4.
Go ahead.
If Villa have a good season, that's 5. Even if right,
Yeah,
they
but-
lose Watkins, right,
Uh,
and they lose Martinez. Remember, the team itself is still a very good functioning team. We
Phil,
have
Phil,
to.
Phil
we are
and
the
Devin,
ones
you all
got
agree
to
with
catch
that?
up.
Aston Villa finishing above us?
Depending on what happens with Ollie Watkins.
and
If they lose-
Martinez.
If we get Watkins, no.
Mhm.
All right, so we will leave the figure down for Arsenal. Okay, so who else? Who else finishing above us, Phil, in your opinion?
Newcastle.
Yeah.
Newcastle, 5.
Crystal Palace.
Spurs.
Palace,
Spurs.
Crystal
Spurs.
FC.
Yeah.
Spurs.
Oh,
no.
You know what?
Remember.
I have to give Robert credit for this one because Thomas Frank is a good manager.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
Amarin is dog shit, too. What you telling me?
No. I'm not
It's
saying
not
that.
that.
I'm
It's
just
just
saying
not
is that the team has to. We have to.
Yeah, but
move
Spurs
forward.
finished below us last season.
However,
Yes, but
Robert, to caveat off of that though,
Mhm.
the one thing that I could say is an advantage to us is we're only playing 1 match a week.
Exactly. So that could help us in the end, but we have to make it work. The same way how it was what team last year or year before had like 1 game a week. No, Chelsea. Was it Chelsea? Because I think they were only in the Conference League, and they made it work, and they got top 4. So we have to make it work. For me, I would say forget FA Cup, forget Carling Cup. Sorry, the Carabao Cup, and just go all out for the Premier League. All out. Every game should be a final. And I think if we take that approach and we get everyone in and everyone out, I think we could at least push for a six. But if it is that how Amram plays, and he will go for every championship that he could win, that is where we will get tired, and we will end up finishing like 8 or 9, maybe even 10.
All right. So we have a number of people weighing in, talking about the among the European places.
Mhm.
And this person is also saying that we have 8. Right? Philip Weeks is saying we're gonna have 8. So and I concur. I remember when I asked the question, I said I think it's good at 8 as well.
Mm.
Right? So Manchester United finished 16. You all are telling me at the best you all expect is us to improve 6,
Yeah.
7 places. You all don't expect us to reach into the top 8.
I said 8. Yeah, that's being realistic. Being realistic right now, I have to be.
Now, I don't know if you all saw the news, right? Fabrizio had me on the news the other day, because right now I am very much you know, I'm kind of weighing my options right now
You're on the market.
because
Yeah,
on the market.
it's unfortunate we don't have that tweet to put up. I should have had it, and I would have put it up so people would know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right.
'Cause,
Well, let me share my thoughts and let me get your feedback. Yes, Chelsea has done good business and probably still going to do business. City has been doing business. Chelsea also going to come into the season looking very strong, feeling very confident with a chip on the shoulder after winning the Club World Cup. Liverpool is doing crazy business as well. Right? They have been strengthening. They're going to lose Diaz, but they're looking to bring in another striker.
Yeah.
Well, RIP to Jota. They would have lost Jota as well. But, they bring in supposedly the hottest creative midfielder on the planet, the next Kevin De Bruyne, into their squad. And they still have Salah. So, they can't really say Liverpool is weakened and they won the league last season. We talk Chelsea, we talk Liverpool. Arsenal is retooling, after they lost the rapist. Sorry, excuse alleged.
Hey, it's not alleged; it's a fact.
After so they're bringing in players to replace him. They finally brought in a recognized striker who has 50 plus goals. Well, I say they brought in, but
They're bringing a striker yet. They're bringing a striker yet.
He hasn't been confirmed yet. He hasn't been confirmed yet.
Right, he hasn't been confirmed. The expectation is the same way we have expectations. The expectation is they're actually going to get a striker, right?
Because
they're bringing nonsense, Madwiki.
Exactly.
Right, so Arsenal is doing bits. Spurs business has been competent, and I agree. Frank is a good coach. I'm hoping and expecting that Amarin is better. So I'm not putting Spurs above us at all. The teams I am looking at are Team Newcastle. Newcastle should be finished ahead of us. Nottingham Forest, whether they're going to be able to pull that trick of not having possession of the ball and hitting teams on the counter attack to the same kind of success that they had last season, I don't know. But Nottingham Forest, and also they've been selling some people. We don't know who they're going to be bringing in. But based on what they did last season, I think Nottingham Forest, we could expect to be above us. And that is about 6 7 clubs for the most. I think we should finish 8th. I have a question for you all. So our expectation is 8th or below, right? My question for you all is this. Would the Manchester United fan base be satisfied with an 8th place finish, which is way above where we finished last season? So that's great improvement, right? With a good goal difference improvement, with us actually being in double digits, maybe 20, 30 plus in goal difference compared to how we've been for the last 4 to 5 seasons, right? Barely breaking 10, sometimes breaking even. Would the fan base be satisfied? Would you be satisfied?
Let me split up the fan base real quick, because you have the realistic fan base and you have the unrealistic fan base. So we have to establish that first. The unrealistic fan base is assuming that we're gonna go on and we're gonna go undefeated in the Premier League. We should be winning the title already. The realistic fan base is going to see this and say, all right, as long as we are seeing a good style of football, we can see what the manager is progressing towards, and we're seeing positivity. Obviously, it was not built in a day. The instant FC side, who I put in the unrealistic side, are not going to see it that way and be calling for his head right off the back. So as long as there's that distinction between them, there's your answer right there.
Okay, so that's your answer. But generally, as we're looking at the majority, Robert, majority-wise, do you expect the fan base to accept? And when I say accept, I mean we're not going to be hearing about hammering out. We're going to be like, yeah, there's a good season, 8th place finish. We in Europe next season. We kicking on. Will the fan base be comfortable with that 8th place finish? An improvement and drastic improvement in our goal difference.
I agree with Devin. It's gonna be split again. They're gonna be the fans who are gonna say Amram out. He's a waste man. How he only finished in 8th and whatever. And they're not gonna remember last season, because they don't care. They want their instant FIFA FC win now. And they're not gonna want to hear about, well, next year and a project. They don't care. They want instant win now. So it doesn't matter what Amram does, unless Amram doesn't win the league, right? People are gonna say Amram out. Because if we go through our first 5 games, right? I believe our first 5 games, correct me if I'm wrong, is Arsenal. I think we're playing City in our first 5 games, right? I think we're playing City. I think we're playing Liverpool. Or is it Newcastle? But I know our first 5 games is a real gauntlet. If we go through those first 5 games, and let's just say, right, we lose 3 and draw 2, people will be saying Amram out. ESPN will be saying Amram out. Everybody will be saying Amram out, because 5 games in and you only have 3 losses and 2 draws. Even if we are competitive in those games, let's just say we lose to Arsenal 1-0 or 2-1, but we were actually in the game, people wouldn't care. They would say Amram out. Even if we lose it to City 1-0, but we were in the game, they would say Amram out.
Wow. Your view of the Manchester United fan base is really negative, Robert. That's a negative Nazi with the Manchester United fan base. If we have a competitive game with Arsenal, men will ball Amram out. Matter of fact, if we get washed from Arsenal, I don't care, as far as I'm concerned, that will be an impetus, put impetus on the management to make sure we get the signings before the end of the window. I wouldn't even consider Amram out if we get 5. You know what I'm saying?
I have heard people say it already. If the man loses to Arsenal, it's a failure. So
yeah, I mean, we need to get some of these people and start recommending them for therapy. United supporters need to check this out. That's crazy.
I agree with Devin. There's a split. I agree.
Let me we getting ready to shut down. Let me get Big Phil's feedback. Phil, 8th place finish, 30 plus goals and goal difference. You think how you think the fan base is going to react to that?
Well, don't forget, we live in a microwave society where everything must be popped into the microwave. Press a few buttons, it's instantly taken out, right? But us as old school fans, we would accept it. But the fans of today, which to some extent they kind of are on social media a lot and they're taking over social media. So I would consider them the majority of the fan base. Because don't forget, Manchester United is probably top two biggest sports franchises in the world, right? So um, I would say that the majority of the fan base would not accept eighth place. They will probably look for a top four. And again, this is the unrealistic microwavable fans, right? Um, Me, I would accept eighth place. I would be surprised if we get a Europa League spot. Very surprised. That would be an overachievement. But top 10 for me is the least we can do. If we fall out of top 10, I will consider the season a failure.
Mhm. All right.
So listening to, in conclusion,
Yeah,
based on all the feedback that everybody has given, um, Manchester United is going to finish between 8th and 10th, and the fan base is not going to be satisfied, and therefore, who knows what Ineos may do? They may be under pressure to get a new coach. That's not a very good outlook, fellas. We know the season start yet, and we kind of negative already,
So,
fellas. Oh,
Well,
God.
remember how we said it before. We said the fan base is split. So you're gonna have the realistic and unrealistic fans. So we got to keep it that way too.
Exactly. Yeah.
People, if you appreciate content like ours, it's not just white English guys that could talk about football, right? We have opinions and you have opinions too. Feel free to comment below and, get involved when we have programs and you see our content. Like, share, subscribe to the channel so we can continue to grow and get bigger. And hopefully, we'll have a more positive outlook soon with some more business, some more business in the transfer market. I think we're gonna finish. I think we're gonna finish in European places. And if 8th is the best we could do, so be it. But I think 8th, 7th, we may even finish in a Europa spot because I believe that we hired Amarin because he has something about him. Just these signings, if we get the 5 signings we are speaking about, right? We got 2. If we get a good striker, we get a good midfielder, we get a goalkeeper. Just those alone should propel us into the top 10. So we are hoping that Amarin is knows what he's about, and I think that should take us over the line to get into Europe for sure. And let's be real, let's say it now. If Manchester United finishes in the top 6, which of you all would agree with me that Amarin needs to be knighted? Because this Manchester United team finishing in the top 6, based on your comments and not mine.
If he was British, yes. If he was British, yes. He
no, I just obviously he's not going to be knighted, but I just mean, would you consider a top 6 an overachievement? Final question. Big Phil, would you consider top 6 overachievement? Robert,
if he get 4, if he get 4th place, give him the job forever.
Top 6. Would you consider top 6 with this team?
Yeah.
This present team in this league, would you consider that overachievement?
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
And you as well, Devin. Well, all right, there we go. So Amarin could finish in the top 8, and that would be bare minimum, I think, that United supporters would expect to finish in the European places, bare minimum. Or he could finish in the top 6 and, finish above expectations, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So, for myself, Big Phil, Devin, Robert, you know what we say. Red Devils don't die, we multiply. See you guys soon. We out.